Unconditional love and non-judgment are ideals that we all aspire to, but they are easier said than done. Despite our best efforts, humanity is more divided than ever, and we struggle to love one another. The root of this problem lies in the destructive thoughts of greed, hate, and vengeance that deeply embedded in our minds. To overcome these thoughts and allow our souls to love unconditionally, we need a powerful tool. Fortunately, Buddha has given us just that, the four foundations of mindfulness, vipassana, or bringing your mental self back home. In this clip, I delve into Buddha's guided wisdom and his tool that enable us to successfully exercise unconditional love and non-judgment. Please join me on this journey towards a more loving and compassionate world. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that I have a chance to come back to Dhamma USA again. And thank you very much, Bante Sumita, to invite me back. So the topic today is about unconditional love, easy or difficult. Judging from the current world situation, the political landscape now, especially in the Middle East, I'm sure that you agree with me that it isn't easy to practice the unconditional love, is it? If it is that easy, I'm sure that we can see the world is in a much better place than it is now. Right. Before I can delve into this topic, it is very important for you to know what I delivered, to my students, especially the topic about how to bring your mental self back home. So please, first of all, let me remind you of all the subjects that I have presented to you previously that you can watch from the video clip from Dhamma USA. So let me share the screen. The very first topic that I presented to you, it was about the 5 components of human life form. So I just give you a very quick recap that according to the Buddha, we are made up of 5 components. We got the physical body, which is the only part that we can see visibly, that is tangible. And then we also have another 4 parts, which I separated very clearly into mind and consciousness. Mind is made up of your thoughts, memories, and feelings, which I also call Jerry. Jerry, made up of our thoughts, memories, and feelings. And then we also have another component, a very important, component, that is our consciousness, our soul, our spirit, which I personify it and call it our mental self, which acts as our true self. So a physical body is very much like a vessel or a shell, accommodate our true self, which is our consciousness. So these 4 parts situated inside this physical form. So we got the mind, the consciousness. So that was the very first subject that I have presented to you. And then the next part, the next subject that I have also talked about, it was about the host mind and visitors. The host mind, I explained as is the original mind that everyone has it. Whereas our thought, memories, and feelings, or Jerry, act as the mental guests that come into our mind temporarily. They come and then they go. And once Jerry go, it leaves behind our host mind, which is always there. And then the next subject I talk about, illusion or Maya. And the part that make up the illusion, so suppose this is our mental self, and this is a whole army of Jerry that come to take over our mind, our mental self, our true self, and create the world of matrix a holographic world or illusion or Maya, which means not real. And because of Jerry that create this elusive world within, cause all this emotion, sending our true self, up and down the emotional scale, which we all know well. And from this artistic work of Jerry, causing the world to be like what it is now. The fun side, the happy side is not much of a problem, but it is the negative side of the dark Jerry that causes us, mayhem, which at the end of the problem, causing war. Okay, which we all know. War after war after war and after war. All this war is all the end result that Jerry created within. And then the next subject that I talk about is to using the Buddha's knowledge of the four foundation of mindfulness, which I emphasize that it is the tool that can get rid of your Jerry or purge Jerry. Jerry is the part that brings all the problems into your life or the carrier of all your problems within. So Vipassana, or the four foundation of mindfulness, is nothing more than the tool that can help you to purge Jerry and then liberate your soul or your consciousness to be free from the bondage of your Jerry. So human born with the bondage of Jerry, born with the ignorance, the spiritual ignorance, and not knowing how to get rid of our Jerry, which basically is our own thoughts and feelings, which causes all this suffering, mental suffering. So the four foundation of mindfulness is a very important tool that the Buddha gave us to purge Jerry and then set us free from Jerry. So once you practice the first two foundations of mindfulness, knowing your breath, knowing your movements, knowing your physical sensations, these are the first two foundations. Once you practice, you can slow down the flow of Jerry or your thought, running through your head, very rapidly until you cannot see what is what. So you constantly, think of something and feeling something all the time. So these first two foundations of mindfulness is a matter of trying to slow down the traffic of Jerry within your head and in your heart so that you can begin to see your mental space. Your mental space is your host mind. The mental space is your host mind. And through this mental space, all the answers to life and how to practice your unconditional love is within this mental space of the host mind. But before you can get to this state of mind, you really got to diligently, work hard on your meditation practice of Vipassana or mindfulness meditation. Keep on slowing down your Jerry until you can see the space. It is only from this state of mind that I can begin to talk about the unconditional love. So you can see that you have a lot of work to do inwardly before you want to exercise the unconditional love according to the Buddha. I'd like you to notice all this terminology that I use: the innocent perception, the oneness, the here and now. I even use the word God. I forgot to put the word nirvana in there. I'd like you to know that all these words are only label. They are not the real experience. And the most important point is that once you purge Jerry, your perception is still very much intact. Nothing disappears at all. Only one thing that disappears, that is your thoughts and feelings or Jerry. Jerry disappear. Once Jerry disappear, you experience this state of void, the emptiness, the void. But people don't like this word, emptiness and void. Give you this image of you floating, in the space void. It's quite scary, really, but it isn't. Okay, because once you have the word void, is Jerry, and then you create that image within and then scare you. But the actual experience of the void without Jerry within is quite in the opposite, very much in the opposite. You would experience the peace, the calm, the stillness, the bliss, all the lovely word that you want to know, but those are only words. So the only way that you can achieve this void or the mental space is through practice only. And this is the very significant part that I always, teach my students to practice and then lead to this mental space or the void. Once you get to the void, okay, which is also happened right here and right now. The void got no past, no future. The past and the future belong to Jerry. Jerry take you into the past, make you grieve over, whatever that you want to worry about. And then also take you into the future, making your plan or make you feeling more scared about the world, whatever emotion that Jerry will create for you. It can be positive. It can be a pink Jerry, quite positive, or it can be negative, whatever. But the part that you need to understand is that once you get to your host mind, the void, the mental state, nothing disappears but Jerry, which allow you to have the innocent perception. All your perception still very much intact, but your perception is not, you are not perceiving things through the eye of Jerry anymore. You are not perceiving things through the eyes of, words and label, but you see things as they truly are, as it is, or the innocent perception. This is the word, that I have created so many years ago. And it is from this state of mind, the host mind, the void, the mental space, these are labels. I want to emphasize that everyone can achieve this actual experience through the practice of the full foundation of mindfulness or vipassana, or bring your mental self back home. But for the sake of communication and delivery of the knowledge, therefore, I have to use the label, the language, to help you to understand what's going on. So you can see that from the state of the host mind, all the big words in the religion, combine into one now, meet in the state of void. So this is the experience that the Buddha have achieved on the night of his enlightenment, 2,600 years ago. He had attained the state of nirvana, which is only the label, but he got to that actual experience of nirvana within. But for the sake of communication, we have to use language and then label. So this state of nirvana that he has achieved, it is indeed the state of the ultimate truth, which also happened right here and right now. So I use other big words in other religion as well to help you to understand that we are talking about the same thing. Okay, at the moment we are fighting over different words, different label, different terminology, that's all. So with this image, you can see that God, Nirvana, Tao, the tree of life, is all the same thing, referring to the nature of the ultimate truth, which is the state that void from Jerry. And my terminology is the innocent perception. You can see that no matter what kind of religious belief that you belong to, it really doesn't matter. If there is any ultimate truth, there got to be one. That ultimate truth got to have one taste, all the same, whatever religion that you belong to. You go through the practice of your master who teach you within your religion. If you practice correctly, like the Buddha, I can only talk about the Buddha. The Buddha teaches the mindfulness meditation. Once you reach the destination of your practice, you would experience the state of the ultimate truth all the same. So this is my way to unite all the religion. And it is this experience, the innocent perception. is the state of Godhood, the state of Nirvana, the state of Tao. Like Lao Tzu said that Tao, or the ultimate truth, has no name. No name, it means that no words at all. Whatever that has name is not Tao, or whatever that has name is not the ultimate truth. So it's very clear cut there. It means that the absolute truth or the ultimate truth got to be beyond our thoughts, human thought, because human thought represent the state of duality. Human thoughts, or Jerry, represent good and evil, positivity and negativity. And then once you get stuck in the positive and the negative, the fighting, the debate, there is no ending to it. So it makes a lot of sense that the ultimate truth, which is the state of the absolute, it has to go beyond your thought, above your thought, okay? Or beyond the state of duality, good and bad. So once you practice your vipassana or mindfulness meditation until you can get rid of your Jerry temporarily, just enough for you to see that void. Once you can see that void, you would be able to understand all these words that I presented here, okay? That is the part, that is the time that you are connected to source. That is the time that you can understand the very abstract concept of oneness. That is also the time that you just be, isness, okay? That is the time that you are embracing your state of Godhood, Christhood, Buddhahood, which is nothing more than the innocent perception. So once you understand within, you will be able to understand without, as within, so without, as above, so below. So it is very important to understand, you know, the world nowadays. You got to understand within first. Understand within, you got to understand how Jerry works within you. The Buddha give us this very precise practice, the tool that can help you to get rid of Jerry. Get rid of your thought of Jerry. So this is my reminder to remind you that before I can delve into talking about the unconditional love, you got to be able to get to this point first. Otherwise, it is very difficult to talk about unconditional love. I don't even know how to start, to be honest. Oneness, the concept that goes against the grain of human perception. There is no way that you can understand oneness just through, you know, looking at the world or rationalize it, talk about it logically or debate about it. It is impossible. So oneness is the most heard concept among the spiritual community. It is rooted from the fact that we are the fractal from the primordial consciousness of God, or the prime creator, whatever that you want to call. From that one, it fractal into diversity and differentiations. And the part that creates the diversity and differentiations is Jerry. So Jerry is not all bad. Jerry is the part that creates the individuality and the diversity and make this world more interesting. Because of Jerry, our thoughts, you know, you got all this pink Jerry, the dark Jerry, the white Jerry of the knowledge, and then you also got the clear Jerry. Clear Jerry is the thought that fixated to the belief in religion. My God is better than your God. That's why it's important that you got to know about your clear Jerry. This is the problem that happened to the world now. My holy book is better than your holy book. You know, my master is better than your master. So you got to know that this is all part of Jerry talk. On the night of the enlightenment of the Buddha, as well as the enlightenment of Christ, of Muhammad, or all these ascended master, they all see the same thing. That is, they all go beyond disconnect and go beyond that thought. And then they see this freedom, this liberation from our own thoughts and feelings, or Jerry. And this is the part that you can really, truly understand oneness. All is one is all. So this is not something that you can see with your eyes. No, it isn't like that. You can only understand oneness, realize the state of oneness within meditation, while you are experiencing that void, while you're experiencing that mental space. Only then will you be able to truly understand the state of oneness within. Once you can understand that everything is all connected like a spider web, this makes all is one and one is all. We are one. Unconditional love. So this fundamental concept of oneness that you can see within when you avoid from Jerry, when you see that mental space with your mental eyes, only then will you be able to understand the unconditional love. This fundamental concept of oneness gives birth to unconditional love without judgment. Love your enemies and neighbors just like you love yourself. We are all brothers, sisters, and cousins. If you hurt others, you're hurting yourself. We are all one. There is only one of us. That is all there is to it. We are also familiar to this echo within our spiritual community, right? Okay, I'm sure you do. Sorry, I can't do it. How can I love my neighbor from hell who poisoned my cat and gave me nothing but misery? How can I love this man who raped and killed my 17-year-old daughter? How can I love my enemy in war zone who pointed the gun at me? How can I not judge this leader who sent my son to the war and got killed? Sorry, I can't do unconditional love. It's easier said than done. I hope you agree with that. Impossible. The concept of oneness goes against the grain of human perception. No matter how you look, you always see diversity and manyness among all things. It is impossible to human eyes to see everything as one. If we cannot see one, how can we expect people to express unconditional love without judgment to one another? This may answer why the world is still in the mess despite hearing this grand concept over 2 millennia. It is easier said than done. Difficulties. The oneness is one of the most abstract concepts. It is difficult to understand, not to mention experiencing it. The difficulty is that oneness is an experience on the mental and spiritual level, definitely not the physical level. You got to practice until you see the void before you can really experience the oneness on the mental level. We definitely cannot feel oneness in the physical world in front of us. No. Experiences on the mental and spiritual level are abstract and always difficult to express and explain. Human language has a limitation and a barrier in itself. That's why it's so difficult, to explain this. What we say, we skim through, and it's often quite ambiguous, very cloudy. The tool is needed. To understand oneness and make it happen, we need a tool. The main obstacle deter us from oneness and unconditional love is our egoistic thought and feelings, or Jerry. So what's happened? What we need to do is to get rid of our egoistic Jerry. The door to oneness and unconditional love is already there in plain sight. So I come back to that practice of the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Once you can anchor your consciousness onto your breath, your movement, your physical sensation, and then you can free your mental self or your consciousness from Jerry, you'll be able to experience this oneness within. Buddha gave us this crucial tool called mindfulness meditation or vipassana. I call it bring your mental self back home, whose meaning begins to make sense. Bring your mental self back home. Because Once you are taken over by Jerry, your mental self, your consciousness, or your true self is being lost. It's being lost in your mental jungle. And this gives you the wrong speech and the wrong action, which is the root cause that give mayhem to this world. So mindfulness meditation, or bring your mental self back home. Basically, the Buddha bring our mental self or true self safely home, home to your breath, home to your movements, home to your physical sensations. By doing this, you can purge your Jerry out of your mind, allow your mental self or your true self to be free from your very own thoughts. So bring your mental self back home, or mindfulness meditation is the precise tool that can get rid of your egoistic Jerry, giving access to oneness and unconditional love. Innocent perception. Once practice, bring your mental self back home, your egoistic thoughts and feelings will be peeled off like layer of onion. There are 4 foundations or 4 homes. Once progress to the 4th foundation of mindfulness, you will experiencing the innocent perception. It equates to reaching the core of an onion where there is nothing, void, empty. This most significant experience of innocent perception makes one realize and witness the nature of oneness. It is the spiritual experience which cannot be expressed by words or any kind of language. So it means that once you reach this state of void, it cannot be expressed by any form of language or word at all. That's why you really need to practice yourself and then see it for yourself with your own consciousness or your mental eyes, your inner eyes, your third eye. There is no other way. Unconditional love. Once witness the spiritual experience of oneness, one can see how everyone and everything are interconnected as brothers and sisters and cousins. Only then one is able to express the unconditional love even to criminal enemies, including your neighbors from hell. This is due to that consciousness, mental self has broken free from their egoistic thought and feelings or Jerry, and experience this unlimited freedom of love. Without the crucial tool, bring your mental self back home, or vipassana, to break free from your Jerry. Oneness and unconditional love are beautiful concepts, but not practical in real life. So let's come back to the actual practice of unconditional love. It means that it requires the mindfulness meditation practice until you are able to experience the void within, the mental space within. And then your intuitive wisdom will come in and then give you all this insight about the oneness, about all is one is all. Because as I say earlier, you cannot see with your own physical eyes. It's just impossible. You cannot even talk about it. It's just impossible. So let's say that you know about the void, you know about the oneness within. You already earn your insight, earn your intuitive wisdom. You also be able to curb your emotion. You don't spark up too quickly, which take quite a long period of time to practice until you become a very calm person, very calm and collected. The actual practice of the unconditional love is that you don't even have to utter a word of love. So give you a scenario, someone come to criticize you, you got the neighbor from hell, who do all kind of really nasty thing, toward you. Your reaction will be very different from those who don't practice meditation. It means that you don't react angrily. That's all you need to do. You don't react angrily. You don't react abusively like what they did to you. You just innocent perception. Maybe sometimes you got to play along to make them know that you don't like it. So once you understand all this through the practice for a number of years, okay, until you got no doubt about this state of void or oneness within, and then you understand God, nirvana, innocent perception, all these things. This is going to have a very big impact on your everyday life. To practice unconditional love is about not to react angrily, because when you react angrily, it's not you, because your angry Jerry is the trigger you to be abusive, to react angrily. Whoever that treat you badly, you just react according to what your Jerry take you over. So basically, unconditional love is not about, you go up on the stage and telling people that you love them. No, it's nothing like that at all. It's the more of the result of a long period of time that you practice your vipassana, your mindfulness meditation, until your ego becomes less and less and less. The ego becomes less because you are able to peel off this egoistic Jerry away from you. And then in your everyday life, you are living with this void, this mental space, more often than be taken over by Jerry. So if this becomes your daily experience, your daily encounter from within, when you are interact with people, especially the negative people, the negative person who abusive to you, no matter it's verbal, abusive, or the action, what you do is that you are able to perceive all this sound, sight innocently. You got no judgment toward them. You might act that I don't like that, but within you, you are able to keep, the stillness within, without any Jerry come to talk within, to give any judgment, to trigger you to react, abusively or angrily or negatively toward anyone. Because sometimes in the real world, you might have to react like that. You might have to play the game, to let people know that you are not a doormat. Otherwise, people will take advantage of you, right? Thinking that, they can do whatever to you. It's not like that. So it's a shame that we got to do that sometimes. It means that if you're able to keep up your stillness, keep up your peace, your calm, and then the void from Jerry, unconditional love and non-judgment, it's happened naturally and automatically without you having to do anything. So the way that you react to any negative scenario is that you don't react at all. The situation that you're supposed to be so angry, instead, you are able to keep your calm, your chill, your stillness within. You don't have to tell them. You might play it along that I don't like it, I'm angry. But in fact, within, you're not angry at all. So in not angry, get angry back to that person who are abusive toward you. That is already exercising the unconditional love and non-judgment. It's the same thing, without having to say that you love them. So can you see that unconditional love and non-judgment is not easy to practice at all? I think we oversimplify it. It is much easier said than done. But the actual practice is that you just don't get angry at that person. Don't get angry at your neighbor from hell. Keep your peace, keep your calm without having to say anything. That is the practice of unconditional love already. The reason that people cannot practice unconditional love and non-judgment, because Jerry is the part that deter them to do. Jerry is the part that stop them to do it. Because all these things, your thoughts and your feelings, the speed that come in and out is staggeringly fast, faster than the speed of light. It come and go, before you know anything. And before you know anything, you already react according to what Jerry tells you. Okay, so this is the part that caused the world to be what it is right now, you know, war after war. So the Buddha's approach is giving us a tool to unconditional love, the four foundation of mindfulness or vipassana, that help us to purge Jerry. Once we can purge Jerry, there is no resistance in there. There is no return in there that stop us not to practice unconditional love, not to practice non-judgment. In fact, you don't have to do anything at all. You can just take the abuse without feeling anything within. You are fully in control because you don't feel anything. You don't feel anything at all because everything that you hear or see or everything that you perceive them innocently because you have the innocent perception. And innocent perception is God, is nirvana, is the ultimate truth, is here and now. And innocent perception have nothing to do with Jerry. So once you can do that, I don't know how is that come, okay? Once you can do that, okay, thank you. Once you can do that, you be able to practice unconditional love all the time without even uttering the word love. You don't have to say the word love at all. No, you just have, innocent perception. And then you see the world as it is. Okay. So I would like to say that this is the version of the unconditional love that the Buddha wants us to practice. I'm sure this is what Jesus Christ wants us to do, and Muhammad as well. But you got to also admit that established religion has been manipulated, by whoever, in the past, until the core teaching all gone missing. But all this terminology is still there for us to talk about. So I would like to just make a conclusion that unconditional love is not easy to practice at all without practicing mindfulness meditation. I hope this is helpful to you. So to give you a clear perspective, I think what the world needs right now is trying to promote the meditation practice to the wider audience. I have the idea, the vision of setting up the meditation shop in every corner of the road to accommodate people from all walks of life, the street walker, when they are very stressed, when they are very unhappy about whatever, they can just pop into all these meditation shop and then do their meditation practice. And then they come out clear, maybe clear of Jerry for a certain amount of time, allow them to think clearly. And only from this state of mind that would give them the opportunity, the chance to practice the unconditional love and the non-judgment. So I hope that the concept of the unconditional love that I present today is helpful to you. So in the end, it means that we all need to practice meditation, which is the means to help humanity to get to that state of practicing unconditional love successfully. Without the meditation practice, I really cannot see how human can reach that state of unconditional love. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.